Okay, we're done touching things. Don't be the devil. I don't know what the flip happened.
What does that mean?
OBS was being weird. What is up, OBS? Calm down. It's okay. I promise. We're just doing the show. You know what? It's because we've been so critical. Like the NSA is
Oh,
coming after us. Listen, NSA,
yeah.
we're secretly on your side. Not really, but I don't know.
Are we?
That was really strange. Um, okay, well, let's see if this is working. We're gonna give this a second just to make sure that it stays. Because that was really weird. Um, yeah, holy crap. What the crap? Okay, so let's run through some quick hits real quick. You Comic-Con tickets 4 days are out?
Yeah.
That's the
Comic Con.
first year they've sold out in
Comic-Con's
a
out.
few years. I'm surprised.
And I will say, I already got some of my stuff. So,
Oh,
got Ken's
nice.
rip off Nirvana pen.
Yeah. Got your fancy ramen shirt this year. Ramen shirt.
Yep. Even got. Oh wait. Think. Wait. Maybe the computer issues is on my end. Hang on. I think I can fix something real quick.
Is it because you're not wearing a hat? I don't know what are we saying here? Jay's doing some sort of black magic on the back end, even though it's streaming out of my box, right? Like, I don't know, dude. That was really, really strange. So, yeah. I again, I'm not sure what happened, but like we started the stream and then it would go disconnected, reconnected, disconnected, reconnected, disconnected, reconnected, and it was being really weird. Let's see what happens if I boot that
Yeah.
again.
I think we have a
Yeah.
weak connection. I'm gonna extend the antennas.
Oh, you needed cat ears. All right, so will you explain this first hit you've got about furry Octo Kitty?
This is very Octo Kitty. It
Okay.
also came from Comic Con. It's like a weird little like it's a cat. Our fans love cat girls, evidently, so we
Yeah,
gotta give
that's
the fans
true.
what they want. So it's a cat and it's furry and it's a tentacle. It's like a octopus cat. I don't really know why it's furry, but it's fucking adorable. So
Where did that come from?
that came from Comic Con. It came
Okay.
from
Well,
stuff.
apparently that tells us the direction that Emerald City Comic Con is going this year. You say the Super Bowl sucked. Why do you say the Super Bowl sucked? Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, did we watch the same fucking Super Bowl?
Yes, because if you refer to what I said on the show a couple weeks ago when we did our Super Bowl preview, I said I wanted to see the Kansas City Chiefs get their teeth kicked in. I didn't
Oh,
want the Eagles to win. I wanted them to win like the Seahawks won against the Broncos because I don't like the Chiefs. And they
yeah.
did precisely what I wanted them to do, which was take the ball and ram it down the throat of the Chiefs, which is what they did.
Yeah, I mean that's they definitely did that. I will say though, damn, it just sucked. I mean, I think the Eagles got kind of bored and just said,
Gave
"Fuck
up.
it, just run. I'm gonna throw the ball as fucking far as I can at the 50-yard line. Let's see what magic can fucking happen. Touchdown." I mean, like, I don't know. I was it was a little it was a little boring, but I don't really go to Super Bowl parties to really necessarily watch the Super Bowl. It's more about just like eating and drinking.
Yeah, I
So
mean, we had a couple of people drop by. Like, we didn't do anything huge. I did really enjoy the halftime show. I thought it was great, right? Watching the conservative reaction to the halftime show was my favorite, though, because they couldn't figure out initially whether they liked it or hated it, right? And then there was a bunch of them that I think they could tell that it was aimed at them, at kind of the
Mm.
conservative movement, that there were a lot of pieces aimed at the conservative movement, but they couldn't quite figure out how, right? It's
Mm.
like being in a room where everybody knows a joke and you don't get it, and you feel like everybody's making fun of you. And
Yeah.
so, mostly seeing the reaction to Kendrick's really what I thought was a great performance with a lot of story to it. It had a good thing. I loved seeing Samuel L. Jackson there doing his
Yeah.
piece of it. There was a lot of subtext to the performance. I really, really I really liked that halftime show. Um, and I liked watching the reaction to it.
Yeah.
And also,
Um,
Elon didn't do his commercials, and there was a lot of people like posting right before the Super Bowl, "I'm just watching for Elon's commercials," and then they never happened, and then they were all butthurt about it afterwards, and it was great. I had a good time.
yeah. It was yeah. Yeah. There was a lot of drinking. There's a lot of drinking.
Drinking is good.
Yeah.
There were good trailers. You've highlighted here in our quick hits, the Jurassic World trailer.
Mm. Yes. I thought that was pretty sick. I'm pretty pumped about the new movie. What about you?
I'm generally in favor of dinosaurs eating people. So that's generally something that I enjoy, is dinosaurs eating people, and if more dinosaurs eat people, the better.
Yeah.
You know, uh,
Yeah.
it does look good. It's got Mahershala Ali in it, who's one of my favorite actors. I like Scarlett Johansson. It's got a decent cast. It feels like the Lost World movie, like redone though.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
That's my only real gripe.
But I mean, like, how you're gonna run out of storylines pretty quickly on like dinosaurs eating people.
You really don't need a storyline for dinosaurs eating people. Look
That's
how
true.
many Godzilla movies they have made.
Whoa, those are like high quality films right there, buddy. Those are uh I don't know, man. When they came out with like Mecha Godzilla,
I mean, I agree with you.
yeah.
You know, um, let's see. We talked about that. You've been the new Thunderbolts trailer. I am so pumped for Thunderbolts.
Yes.
This looks like a really good movie.
Yep.
I really think this is gonna be, it's gonna be solid.
Oh,
You know,
nice.
what did you think of it?
Oh, I'm pumped. It looks hilarious. It looks action packed. Um, I'm also pumped for this weekend for Captain America. So like, we're in like full Marvel mode right now.
It's gonna be a good year for movies. Every time I look, there's more stuff that people forget that's coming. That again, even if it's again not great cinema, but just fun shit. The second Mortal Kombat movie is coming out this year
What?
with Keith Urban as Johnny Cage.
Have we seen a trailer for this?
No, but we've seen a poster. Um, they just released a poster. Let me pull it up really fast so we could show the chat. Um,
Mm.
it looks freaking phenomenal. I'm gonna bring this up for the chat. Hang on one second. No. Oh, hang on.
Well,
We're gonna bring it
oh
up. We're gonna bring it up. I promise.
man,
There it
it
is.
takes so long for Alex to get it up.
There we go.
There it is.
Look at that.
Okay,
Because we didn't have Johnny Cage in the first movie.
that is true. Yes.
And I loved the first one. All right. That Scorpion Sub-Zero fight, chef's
Yes.
kiss. That was awesome. Right? Sometimes you just need a good thingy. Well, Keith Urban's more than a country music star these days. He does a lot of different stuff. He's been acting for a while. But yes, I think Rebel Without a Cage, right? Johnny Cage in Uncaged Fury. I want them to do fake trailers in the movie, right? For Johnny Cage, okay? We need him to be the 90s, like, in a world style trailers, right? That
Yeah.
they just don't do anymore. I want that. I really do. I think that is the way to go. Let's do it. That new Karate Kid movie looks really, really good. I did go see Love Hurts this weekend with Ke Huy Quan.
I am seeing that actually tomorrow, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, haven't seen it yet.
It's a good Valentine's Day movie, right?
Aw.
There's a love story. Marshawn's role is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought he'd be in for a few scenes. Now he's in the whole thing. If you go into it, I think the reason it kind of panned is I think people went in with the wrong attitude. You have to go in understanding what this movie is. It is a goofy action comedy. It's not supposed to be taken seriously. Right? So if you're going in there like, I don't even know what to compare it to. You won't like it. There to me was laugh out loud moments. The fight scenes were solid. They were funny. It's a good flick. Again, is it high cinema? No. No, it is not. Is it a best picture like thing? No. No, it is not. It's not that. It's gonna be what it is, okay? It's gonna be it's a goofy freaking movie, okay? And you just have to accept that. Okay? So take that for what it's worth. Right? But if you like those kind of films, it's a good movie. I enjoy it. It was goofy fun. What else do we have on the quick hits? Nothing. Oh, you were rewatching Daredevil. You're doing a Daredevil rewatch.
God. Okay, can we just like pause for a second?
Sure.
So the first season of Daredevil came out about 10 years ago, and that is insane to me. 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I am now on season 2. So season 1 was obviously the Kingpin, kind of becoming the Kingpin. Season 2 is with the Punisher.
Yep.
It like still like 10 years later, it like holds up. I'm
yeah.
like, holy crap. I highly recommend everyone, if you're like a huge Daredevil fan and you want to like kind of catch up before the new season, definitely rewatch everything, because I did not realize how much I forgot about, I guess, so far the first 2 seasons. So yeah, I'm on season 2. It's I'm so amped for the new Daredevil season. I don't know. I'm gonna have to buy the merch. I'm gonna have to buy the t-shirt. I don't even know if they have a t-shirt. I'm gonna have to try to buy the t-shirt.
I mean, I'm glad we're basically getting Daredevil season 4.
Yeah.
That's what we're getting. We're getting Daredevil season 4.
Yeah.
It's the showrunner from the Punisher show. They say it's going to be brutal. They say it's going to be really solid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on board for what they're doing. What Disney is teasing with this Daredevil show.
Yeah.
So I'm optimistic. Right? I'm optimistic. All right. I think we've done that. Before we get going, well, actually, we may as well just start doing the stuff. Poof. All right. That was the cold open, ladies and gentlemen. That's the cold open. Welcome to the Error Code Show for February 13th. Your place for news, pop culture, politics, gaming, whatever the hell else we want to talk about. If you want to support the show, if you are an Amazon Prime member, you can use a Prime sub to subscribe to us on Twitch for free. Or you can spend money on Twitch and subscribe to us on Twitch. We're also trying to rack up our YouTube stuff so we can get to monetization on there. We're on the march to 500 subs. Watch hours and subs is the way to go. So if you want to go over there, don't forget. And if you miss any portion of the show, that's the best place to look, because you can take them in clips. We clip out everything, and then right after the show, I upload everything every Thursday. Yeah, thank you for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed the cold open. But with that, we're going to get to our first main topic for today, and we're going to do some politics, but we're going to do some funny politics, okay? Some really, really funny politics. For those of you who aren't plugged into the sports world, which is a decent amount of our audience, you may not know who Stephen A. Smith is. The brash host of First Take since 2012 on ESPN. He has been well known for a very, very long time. He's been around long enough to where like Saturday Night Live has done send-ups of Stephen A. Smith and his personality.
Wow.
During the last election season, on his podcast, he started weighing in on politics a little bit more because he also has his own personal podcast that's not affiliated with ESPN. And then he started going on things like Fox News and CNN and talking to people like Sean Hannity to be critical of both campaigns. Based on those, his personal politics seemed kind of muddled, right? Let's put it that way. But what started as an answer to the Daily Mail during an interview about a run for office is now morphed into a possible presidential campaign. He responded to further questioning on whether he would make a run for the presidency on his own YouTube show, not confirming or denying that he would do so. And now, House Minority Leader Democrat Hakeem Jeffries has weighed in saying, there's a lot to like about Stephen A. Smith. So my question to you, Jay, is do we need a celebrity to get us out of this this Democrat Party tailspin? Like, is that what it's going to take? Do we need to run a celebrity against a celebrity?
No.
No. Are you familiar with Stephen A?
So I am not. Yeah, so I'm not very familiar with him. I think I've seen him, a couple of times, just on the webs, on the interwebs, surfing the webs as people do. But no, I can't like tell you anything he has ever said, to be honest. I okay. If there's another election, and if like the current Cheeto man that's in power doesn't like somehow just do
Stay.
away with elections,
Mhm.
um, I don't know. The bar is so low now. Because I used to have kind of the thought of like, no, celebrities shouldn't be president because I feel like they're not very well equipped. And to be fair, you can have your cabinet, right? Like you can staff your cabinet um to be very, I don't know, heavy hitters, like know what they're doing and then kind of take their advice. Um but I don't know. I now unfortunately it kind of seems like anyone can be president
It,
if you yell loud enough.
to make you feel better, we would not be the only ones. So everybody's familiar with Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, who has led them through this war against Russia. He was a comedian in Ukraine.
Hmm.
That's what he did before he became president of Ukraine.
Okay.
So there's that. The other one that I've seen floated around, and I'm curious about your opinion on. What about Jon Stewart? I know I've seen a bunch of like draft Jon Stewart to run for president campaigns out there, right? What if we went Jon Stewart?
Yes. I would be all for that. I I don't know. I so the moment for me when I realized that there is more to Jon Stewart than just like being a comedian, right? Was with the 9/11 firefighters.
He did the same thing for the veterans for the PACT Act.
Okay.
Yeah, for the burn pits.
Okay. Um, but no, I think you'd be great. Yeah, I mean, again, like almost anyone can be better than like Cheeto Man, right? Like, I don't know, that's my opinion.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that this is where our politics has devolved to, because this is, again, it's being taken seriously because Trump has now won the presidency twice, right? So why not Stephen A. Smith, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's very brash. I think from a personality standpoint, I think the debates would be hilarious.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it reminds me of the movie Demolition Man, where they're like the Schwarzenegger Presidential Library, right? Um, by the way, if you haven't watched Demolition Man, go back and watch Demolition Man. It's a classic and it holds up to this day. And you're like, oh my God, they were so prescient about where the world was going. Like, oh crap. Highly recommend Demolition Man. It was made before its time. I and I'll be honest, I like Stephen A. I do. I enjoy his sports commentary, right? I think he's a funny guy and he hates the Cowboys. Okay? Which I think is never a bad thing, right? Because the Cowboys are terrible and Cowboys fans are awful. That's right. I said it. Y'all are awful. And I would
Wow.
sell Texas to Mexico for 7 tamales and a jug of horchata. All that aside, I think I just broke Jay. Like, what?
Oh my God.
I have strong feelings about Texas and Florida.
Damn. Yeah. Fucking Florida sucks.
Somebody in the chat said I'd vote for Harrison Ford just to hear him yell, "Get off my plane!" The only reason I will say no to Harrison Ford, right, is we're trying to get away from old people. He's 82 years old. I'm done with this, right? Like, we're not. Can we stop electing these geriatric motherfuckers? Please, I beg you. Right? At least Jon Stewart's only 62. Right? Which isn't bad. Stephen A. Smith is 57. Okay. As much as, again, I would be amused by Harrison Ford running for president, again, he's just too old.
Yeah.
He'd be 86 when he got elected.
Oof.
Yeah, I'm done with that now. Okay, I would like to have our first Gen X at least. Although Gen X, I'm still mad at you.
Why? What happened?
They
What?
were the ones, they turned this election, man. They swung. That demo was one of the ones that swung hardest to the right during this election.
Damn.
Imagine how Jon Stewart would look after 4 years in office. That's true, right? Like, if you look at Obama when he got elected versus when he left office, right? It ages you.
Yeah.
That office takes it out of you. Actually, George W., the same thing. Look at a picture of George W. Bush when he was elected versus when he left 8 years later. It's a marked difference. And yes, I know, chat, it's not all of Gen X, but it's enough of you. Enough of you, and you didn't keep your generation in line. Okay? Enough of you swung hard right and went crazy that I have to blame you now. Okay? It's your fault. So take that for what it's worth. Obviously it's early to be talking about 2028 presidential runs. Any other celebrities, besides Jon Stewart, that you would be like, you know what? Yeah, go ahead, run for president.
What about Kevin?
Kevin who?
This Kevin.
Oh, that guy?
I don't know what he stands for, but again, better than Cheeto Man.
I mean, the furry OCTO kitty for president. Robert De Niro. He's gone a little anti-vax for my taste. He's got some weird stuff that I don't love. I do like Robert De Niro, but what anybody else can you think of?
What about Dwayne the Rock Johnson? Wasn't he trying to get into politics at one point?
I think so, but I mean, can you smell what the Rock is cooking?
He'd be a great Scorpion King, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, take it for what it's worth. Anyway, let us know down in the chat below any celebrities you'd like to see running for president. Apparently, we're trying to draft Stephen A. Smith and Jon Stewart to run for the Democratic nomination. We don't know who's going to run for the Republican nomination. God only knows. And, you know, anyway, let us know down in the comments below. And with that, chat, by the way, if you have any comments or questions or topics you want us to talk about, drop those in the chat, and we will try and get those toward the end of the show. We always love to see your topics. So if you saw anything in the news this week in entertainment or politics or sports or anything like that, then drop those in the comments. Chat saying, I don't want to be Secretary of Defense. No. No, thanks. No. I don't want to be a cabinet secretary. If we're going to play goofball shit, I am Leo McGarry. I am the chief of staff guy from the West Wing. I am Leo. That is who I would be. What about you, Jay? Which cabinet secretary position would you like?
I don't know. I really don't think I would want any of them, to be completely honest. Oh, I really hate politics.
That's why I've never run for office. That and I don't have the background.
Yeah. I don't think I could do it. Yeah, I don't like if you were like, I don't know, let's say Alex became president and Alex was like, no, you're going to pick a position or I'm going to execute your whole family, because that's how Alex operates right there. That's typical Alex. Oh, I don't know. Maybe the new one. The new, what is it? The Department of
Oh, you want to run Doge? Just
No. First order of business is getting rid of the name Doge because it's fucking stupid. But yeah, the efficiency, I guess. Like, yeah, I don't even like that. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, look, if I can't be the chief of staff, chat, then I want to be the vice president because I want to do nothing. I want to get paid to sit around and be nothing.
Oh,
to be the most
no.
pointless job in the government.
Nope. There's one better.
Oh, what's
one
that?
Better. We covered it on this show. Not a cabinet position, but it is I don't know, blessed by the government. I don't really know how this works, but the ambassador to Hollywood.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. I would do that.
You want to be the Hollywood ambassador? You could be the ambassador to the porn industry.
Oh, God. But everything's always sticky.
All right, let's move on to our next topic, which involves celebrity meltdowns of the umpteenth degree. Jay, take us away.
In a world plagued by Nazis, one man can rise above them all and take the fight to your doorstep. Kanye West. Okay, so yeah, little joke here. Why doesn't Kanye ever get lost? Because he is always finding himself, and this week he has found himself in a lot of trouble. In case I don't know. To be fair, maybe you're bogged down with all the politic news, or you're just kind of trying not to watch news at all. Kanye went full Nazi, for a lack of better words. I don't really know what happened with this guy, but let's break it down. Let's break it down for you. February 2nd, Kanye shows off his wife at the Grammys, and we got an eyeful.
Yeah, that was showing off.
At
something. I saw the pictures.
She wore
they called it a dress.
I think it was like a nylon, like pantyhose just stretched over her entire body. I don't really I don't really know, but there's literally nothing to your imagination.
Nope.
All of it's there. Okay. So same day, he also goes on a podcast and states that he was diagnosed with autism. Key fact there. Okay. That's a little, maybe something's happening with here. February 6th. He went full nuclear on X slash Twitter slash whatever they're calling. These kids are calling that platform these days.
Yeah.
I think it's called, isn't it like Pornhub 2.0 or
Something like that.
Pornhub social media? But anyways, February 6th, quote, never apologizing for my Jewish comments. I am a Nazi. That's pretty, that's yeah, I don't know. That's it is what it is. He goes on a full rant
And it's,
on X.
I'm seeing something in here that I want to add right around this same time. Because I
Yeah.
saw this as it was kind of happening in real time. He then proceeds to start posting post after post after post of nothing but porn.
Oh, did he?
Oh,
Did I miss
yeah.
porn? There's a lot of porn
There
on
was,
Twitter. I'm sorry.
he was literally, it was like 30 in a row. Just links to X videos and Pornhub and X and an X and just straight up porn. Like a lot of it.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Anyway, continue. That also happened in that time frame when he was going on his meltdown.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay. So yeah, Nazi comments. A lot of anti-Jewish comments. Porn comments, evidently. Somehow I missed that. Dang. February 8th, he said, quote, I would never sell a swastika tee because people would be physically harmed wearing it. I love my fans and supporters. That's also like foreshadowing right there. Because
What's about to happen?
yeah, literally the next day, there was a Super Bowl ad where Kanye West is telling people to go to Yeezy.com, where he only had one item for sale, and that was a white T-shirt with a black swastika printed on the front.
Yep.
And evidently, and I don't know here if this is like Elon trying to prove to the human race that he's not a robotic Nazi or what, or maybe this is just like very like too far for him. I don't really know. But on February 10th, supposedly Elon Musk took down Kanye West's account. So it was too freedom of speech for Elon Musk, which is also kind of shocking to me.
Yes.
But don't really know. February 10th, 33 and West, a Los Angeles talent agency, dropped Kanye West as a client. Next day, an unnamed Jewish woman who worked for Yeezy sued him in California Superior Court Tuesday, alleging that she was discriminated against and harassed by West because of her sex and religion, including a text message reading, "Welcome to the first day of working for Hitler." I really don't know. I don't get it. I don't. And then also that same day, Shopify came out with a statement and basically shut his site down because he was evidently using Shopify to sell the shirt. And yeah, I really, so there's so much to say here, a lot.
Yeah. So I'm looking at some updates,
Mhm.
right? I'm hearing he may be back on X, but I'm trying to verify.
Follow the porn.
Yeah. Um yeah, So part of this, I feel bad, right?
Please explain. Why do you feel bad?
It is obvious this guy has severe mental health issues that no one can get him to get addressed, right? You just don't do this unless you are suffering from some severe mental health stuff.
Or theory number two, he's a very jealous person, and he is jealous that Daddy Trump is getting all the attention, and he stated beforehand that, hey, I have autism, and then proceeded to do something super crazy, a whole string of crazy events, so that he could get the some of the limelight, get some attention from the old social media and media in general. And here we are. Now he can just say, oh, I have autism. It was my autism acting up.
Again, I don't think it's autism. I think it's much deeper than that. Much deeper. Again, so for our updates, right? The Yeezy store is back up. That's what it looks like right now. I don't.
True art right there.
I don't know what to say. Apparently it's coming soon, so it's coming back. And his account is back on X. Insofar as it exists, there's a link to Yeezy.com. He's got all his followers, right? But there is no posts. Nothing. I don't even think it's, and I'm responding to chat now. I don't think it's an assumption that he's mentally ill. I think it is something that we can nearly state as fact. I think that he is mentally ill. And no, not everybody with mental illness acts like him. And after the autism comment, I saw a lot of commentary being like, hey, don't use autism as a crutch, being on the spectrum, for being an asshole, right? And I agree with that statement. And I think there's a lot of people that use autism as like a get out of jail free card. I've seen it happen both online and in person, where people use being on the spectrum as a get out of jail free card to do shitty things, right?
Mm.
And so it's that. I still put it into the case of, I think he's suffering from some severe mental health stuff, right? And nobody can help him. He's too rich. He's too powerful. He's got too many yes people around him. And it's too easy for people like Kanye to put yes people around them who will not hold them accountable.
So I am one of the people at my Super Bowl party that I went to.
Yeah.
Um, he is German. He was born in Germany, and then moved to Canada, went to college in Canada, and then now became a U.S. citizen. And I was talking to him a little bit about, let's just say just general stuff that as one talks about, just like, hey, Nazis today in our society. What do you think about that? Um, so one, Elon Musk, his very, I'm just going to call it the wave to the crowd, as Trump supporters love to call it. Um, he was very pissed. He said he was very upset by it. He was like, one, I don't care what he meant by it. You don't do that. And second, it's very clear that was a salute. So he was very pissed about that. But he did offer some very, I think, words of wisdom here. He said, you know what? The Nazis got us to the moon. Maybe the Nazis can get us to Mars this time.
No.
So there you go. There you go.
I don't think Ye is a Nazi. I don't think he knows what that word means.
Can we can we address the elephant in the room?
What?
This is what I don't understand. Maybe chat, maybe you can help me out here. Alex, maybe you can help me out here. Maybe I have this wrong, but my understanding of, I guess, the old school Nazis was that they really only liked a very specific kind of race of people.
It is, and again, are you talking about World War II Nazis or crazy neo-Nazis? Because their ideology has continuously evolved, right? As does all discrimination as time goes forward, right? And that's probably an interesting topic that we might get into here in a few minutes. Kind of keeping us on Ye for a second. The whole thing just sucks.
Yeah.
And the worst part is he's mentally ill and he's able to do this stuff because he has money and power. Which sucks. Because normally he would just be a crazy guy yelling in the street.
Yeah.
But when you're a crazy guy yelling in the street who has a crap ton of money and a lot of power, you can affect a lot of things. And that really, really sucks. The thing that I like to remind people about discrimination in specific is this. Whiteness has evolved over the years, right? In that Irish people weren't considered that. Italians, Hispanic. Again, there's a whole evolution, right? And it goes back to the model minority myth. It goes back to a lot of stuff, right? Nazism as defined in Germany was again, it was a weird amalgamation of German nationalism, which is weird because Germany is a younger country than the United States as a country, right? Germany is not that old, right? So it's a weird combination of German nationalism and racial identitarianism of the master race, that they were the German people, the Aryans were the master race. And then, they just kind of kept going, right? And then modern neo-Nazis, just kept expanding. It's, yeah. On the A thing, he wasn't invited to the Grammys. He just showed up.
How do you just show up with you're
rich?
Naked?
You're rich. And when they showed up at the Grammys, she was wearing a big fur coat.
Yeah, she was.
Right? And so they were like, yeah, you're not supposed to be here. He wasn't really invited. Because I don't think he was up for anything this year and he wasn't presenting. So, and he showed up and they're like, all right, yay, cool. And then, his wife dropped. And I also feel bad for her. I feel bad for his wife. That is certainly an abusive relationship.
So, I saw a thing where her sister commented on the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
She was very supportive. She was like, "Yeah, you go, girl." I was like,
yeah, that's lovely. Just fucking lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it. We're going to lose one cat here because I just don't like it.
There you go. Somebody in the chat's commenting about that. Here's the thing. America has been through this multiple times, right? Anytime we get a new influx of a new type of immigrant, right? We had the Chinese Exclusion Act in the late 1800s, right? We didn't like Chinese people, right? And then a bunch of Irish and Italian people, and then we didn't like them. And we continuously go through this process of deciding we don't like the newest batch of immigrants. Whoever that happens to be. And it sucks. It's fucking awful. Trying to decide if I want to rework some of our topic order today. because we're coming off a pretty deep one.
Oh my gosh, Kevin, stay up. Gosh.
Do you want to do Marvel next, or do we want to talk about the Pope next?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Let's just talk about I guess the Pope next. I mean, but yeah, chat, let us know what you think. What do you think? Were were the Nazis racist or were they autistic? I don't know.
uh chat saying the Pope. If anybody else wants to chime in there, we're either going to talk about Marvel Rivals or the Pope next. And as always, if you're joining us late, if you've got any topics, anything you saw in the news or on social media this week, I fielded a question earlier today because there was a rumor that Tom Cruise was involved with the Warhammer 40K project that Henry Cavill's working on for Amazon. So I had to spend 10 minutes going down that rabbit hole. Look, there's basically 4 or 5 outlets that if they break something that you could pretty well take to the bank in the entertainment business. Variety, Deadline, The Hollywood Reporter, and John Campea, who almost never breaks news, but he does on rare occasion. Because he mostly does commentary, right? If they don't say it and it's like Marvel Rumors Express on Twitter, or Star Wars Rumors, right? Or movie news and rumors on, you can basically just ignore that, right? Chances are it's somebody making some crap up, right? And unfortunately, social media gives these people a platform.
Yep.
You know, when I was a kid, it was just a kid in the schoolyard who's like, I heard that Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be in the next Star Wars movie. And it was a 14-year-old, but the only people he could tell were the guys in the lunchroom. Now that same kid can be like, I heard Tom Cruise is going to be in 40K. He can put it on Twitter and it will go viral, and then 4 places will have to debunk it and write an article about it.
That's not true. To go viral, you have to have cat ears.
If that were only the case, I would wear cat ears every day. Every single day, I would wear cat ears.
We're trying it. We're trying new things.
Yeah. Trying to cleanse the palate a little bit before we start talking about the Pope. If less gross movies than 40K, that would be awesome.
Oh. Here's a question to you.
Yeah.
Since we're trying to
cleanse the palate.
Do you have your Comic-Con tickets yet?
I do not. That is my wife's fault. I can still get all 4 days. I'm going to have to pay an extra like $15 because I was late.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
But you know my wife, she wants to go. Right? She goes every year.
Yeah.
But she doesn't do all 4 days. Right?
Okay.
She doesn't. She does a few days at Comic-Con, and she does have a couple things here and there, and that's her thing. My daughter usually goes for a day, So I'm like, which day do you want? So I can just buy all my Comic-Con tickets at once. And she's like, I don't know. I imagine it's going to be, she'll come Sunday. Because she goes there, and my daughter goes there to shop and to look at stuff.
No, go Thursday.
Work. She don't want to take off work. She won't take off work for Comic-Con.
She won't take off work?
Not for Comic-Con.
Who is she, the Pope?
Not for Comic-Con.
Not for Comic-Con? I take off for Comic-Con every year.
Yeah, look. Amazon, they're working on the 40K thing. It has been greenlit fully, so I know it's coming. If only they could get Bond there, but they still can't get Bond across the fucking anything line. And Barbara Broccoli literally leaked to the media that she thinks the people at Amazon are, quote, fucking idiots. Right? So I'll be honest, there's always news and rumor about the new Bond, and nothing there. And again, it was not long ago that Barbara Broccoli, who runs that, the Broccoli family owns the rights to Bond. They are in charge of it.
The Broccoli family? What is this? VeggieTales?
Yeah, pretty much.
Fuck.
So Barbara Broccoli is a film producer, and they own the rights, right? Eon Productions, which is owned by the Broccoli family, owns the rights to James Bond, right? And so Barbara Broccoli, who is the head of the family now and the head of the studio, Eon Productions, they own the rights to James Bond. MGM has the distribution rights. Amazon bought MGM, so now they have the right to distribute Bond. They're trying to make another Bond movie, which is duh, right? Daniel Craig is done. And again, Barbara Broccoli called Amazon people idiots.
I mean, you know, probably to some degree, right? So Jay Eggplant agrees on some levels there. What vegetable would you be if you were in VeggieTales?
Oh God, I haven't thought about VeggieTales in ever.
No one has.
What happened to the Fleming family? They sold it a long time ago. Yeah. Barbara Broccoli's feuding with Amazon Video over what to do. Referring to the people at Amazon as fucking idiots, according to the Wall Street Journal. So, if you're a James Bond fan, I would not expect to get a James Bond movie anytime soon. You know, take that for what it's worth. VeggieTales is a Christian thing. It was done with the evangelicals back in the 90s. So we could do that one. Well, that actually leads us into our next topic. Okay.
Perfect. Look at that.
Yep, Christian allegory. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, first, I'm going to start this segment with a disclaimer. I am not making, nor is Jay making, any personal proclamations about your personal faith-based beliefs, right? Those are personally held beliefs that are between you and your deity, whoever you choose to do, whether it is the furry octo kitty or Buddha, Jesus, whoever. Again, we're not commenting on your personal religious beliefs. We are merely talking about politics and news that have to do with religion because we are in the worst timeline. And it's funny, okay? For those that don't know, our vice president, JD Vance, was an adult convert to Catholicism. And I will tell you right now, becoming an adult convert to Catholicism is a pain in the ass. You gotta want it bad. Okay, you have to go to school. You got to do a bunch of stuff. It's not easy. Okay. Anyway, a few days ago, during an interview, he used a thing as part of Catholic doctrine called Ordo Amoris, the Order of Love, to discuss about how they were treating migrants in this country, right? And now the Pope is calling out the Vance and Trump administration for their treatment of immigrants. Okay. This is a big step by the Pope. He issued a big, long statement to the bishops in America saying, that's not what Ordo Amoris means. That's not what we're talking about here. And he basically corrected the vice president's theology that he tried to use to justify his politics on, like, the Pope put him on blast, which is a first, right? No Pope has ever called out a president or vice president's politics in an official release from the Vatican. There was a funny clip circulating on CNN where they were talking about this, and their right-wing talking point guy was, called out about, hey, the Pope is saying what you guys are doing is not Christian, right? like you're supposed to be welcoming of the migrants. And he was like, nah, nah. And they were like, but this is a Judeo-Christian society. Like, you guys keep telling us this, right? It's the conservatives who keep saying, we're a Judeo-Christian society. So the guy who leads the largest Christian church on the planet is saying, hey, guys, you got it wrong. At the same time, our president signed an executive order installing the Office of Faith at the White House, and it is headed by a certain evangelical nutbar Florida pastor, I put that in quotes, and ministry president Paula White. I encourage you to go look up her stuff at some point. It's interesting, and I'm sure as an evangelical, she just loves the Catholic Church. Okay. So Jay's over here just shaking his head. Obviously, she's from Florida. She runs a mega church in Florida. Jay, as a former Florida resident, are you surprised in any way?
No more cat ears. You guys have lost the privilege of cat ears. You guys don't deserve cat ears. No. Oh God. I'm not surprised of if it's in the anything that you okay, if you say, Jay, are you surprised? Something, Florida, something, religion. My answer is gonna be no. Like it's always gonna be no. Not surprised at all. I'm surprised that we have a position at the White House for religion because I thought there was a separation of church and state. Thought that was like a thing that we were founded on. But yeah, when it comes to Florida, no, I'm not surprised at all. I lived there for 32 years.
Are
30, 32 years?
Are you
Yeah.
familiar with this particular evangelical pastor? Have you seen the clips of her?
No.
She's very much the speaking in tongues, do kind of type.
No, so the only ones that I like typically see or did see, they were all like traditionally very male, very white male, like
Oh,
very
she's very white. Like she's very. There's our thing. That's her.
she does look very Florida.
She looks very Florida evangelical. She's been on the scene for a while as a celebrity pastor and a pastor for celebrities. She's one of those people that really loves praying over people and speaking in tongues. Are you familiar with the practice?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, now she is the head of the White House Office of Faith. And again, these people typically don't like the Catholic Church. Right? Like the evangelical church and the Catholic Church generally do not jive. In fact, I saw a commentary today where somebody was like, they're not real Christians, the Catholics. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of things that just not even just normal, I guess. Don't want to say normal. I'm sorry. Christians say in general about Catholics, you know, I've heard a lot of like,
Mary.
you worship idols, you worship other people other than,
Saints. Yeah.
Jesus and God and um, all of that. So yeah, they don't no. They don't get along.
Which again, to me, is ironic that she's heading up the White House Office of Faith, and I am sure she may have said it publicly at some point. I am sure she would consider Catholics heretics. Are the Catholics the oldest surviving Christian sect? Good question. Debatable. You could argue the Gnostics are the oldest surviving Christian sect. Tough to say. I don't think I can't speak to that. I can't speak to it. Jesus. I don't know. Hey, but here's my idea, and let me run this idea by you. And again, disclaimers up front. I'm not making fun of anybody's specific faith. But could we just get the admin to declare a religious holy war on itself? Right?
Yeah.
Like, is that possible? Maybe we could just get them to fight themselves?
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like the best option to me.
But then you're in the issue of like a holy war. Everyone's like killing each other in the name of the same God, which is we've been doing it since like the dawn of time.
It just might thin out the herd a little bit. We can all just kind of hide for a couple of years, let them fight it out, and then, blah.
Yeah. Where would we hide though?
I mean, we live in Seattle. We're pretty far away.
We are pretty far away.
We're pretty far away. This is why I live in the Pacific Northwest, because they forget we exist. Right? If you go, and actually, you'll be able to answer this for me. If I went to Florida, right, and I asked a random person in Florida, have you been to Washington? What do you think their first instinct would be? That I'm talking about Washington State or Washington, D.C.?
Ooh. So that is very tricky. I would say the chances are you're most likely going to bump into someone they're going to think you're talking about Washington, D.C. But I will say there are people, though, who actually might think of our lovely state of Washington, because there's actually a lot of people in Florida that I personally knew that they want to come here, they want to move here,
Because it's nice.
they want to escape Florida, but they just don't have the means to. I don't know. Maybe we should start like a GoFundMe or something and start raising up money to kind of
to move people from Florida to other places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, let us know what you think down in the comments below. I have yet to see any response from JD Vance to his little hand slap from the Pope. And for anybody that wonders why, go ahead and look up papal infallibility, which is a core belief of the Catholic Church. I don't think JD can say anything. That's the problem. And I think he's stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, you don't you might in today's society be able to take your wife to a lovely award show and
have her wear nylon dress.
Yeah, and display everything for all to see. But one thing you cannot do is you cannot argue with the Pope.
Okay. Papal infallibility is kind of a core tenet. Yeah. Sorry, folks. All right. Yeah, let us know what you think down in the comments below. Yeah, let us know your thoughts. All right. Again, if you're in the chat, looks like we're being trolled a little bit in the YouTube chat, which I'm fine with. Like, look, dude, watch time is watch time to me. Right?
Are we?
Yeah, a little bit. Watch time is watch time to me. Right? Like, my metrics go up. Like, you're not busting my chops. I promise. Stop setting her.
Yeah. We're not only streaming on YouTube.
No, we're on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok all at the same time. Yep. Technology and science. Yeah. We are everywhere all at once.
Yeah, you're actually helping us get monetized, so just
keep going. Yeah. Anybody in either chat though, even if you're trolling us on YouTube, if you saw any comment, any like stories or anything like that for anything you want to talk about. Where did your lights go, Jay?
I think it just died. I think it's the trolls on YouTube.
Oh no, the trolls on YouTube are destroying Jay's lights. No. Yeah, if you saw anything over on YouTube, TikTok, anywhere, Twitter, X that you want us to address during the show, go ahead and drop it into the comments, and we will try and hit that towards the end of the show. I'm trying to check what time it is. Oh, good. We're kind of running on time today. Jay, this next one is you, buddy. Seriously, do you have lights? It's really dark.
Yeah. No, I'm good. We can just stay in the dark. Maybe that's like a new segment, just Jay at night.
It's not even Jay at night. It's like Jay in a blue cave.
I'm fine with that.
You look like you're inside of an aquarium at a doctor's office that's closed.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Oh man.
Oh, that's a little better. There we go. That's good enough.
Yeah, there we go. We got a little bit of light there.
That's good enough. All right, Jay, take us away on our next topic.
In a world where people rival over marvels such as I got nothing. I don't know. I tried it. But yeah. Oh, Marvel Rivals. I've been playing it. I'm really trying to kind of I guess like master Psylocke. Yeah, it's been out. So some things actually happened with Marvel Rivals. So it was announced that it was going to restructure its season rankings, and the internet freaked out. I mean, probably more so than the whole Kanye West thing.
I'm saying, but the internet freaking out, that's like 6 times a week.
I mean, it's probably more than that with like Cheeto Man. So, yep, there's that.
Okay, keep going.
But this was quickly reversed by NetEase. They released an updated statement explaining that it would keep players' rankings through the season and not have a reset in the second or halfway through the season. And that the whole reason was that it was originally trying to kind of, I guess, spice up some actual gameplay going on. So it looks like they were trying to balance some major changes, shake up the battlefield, if you will. But yeah, the internet definitely just freaked out. It's, quote, a common concern was the pressure associated with having a rank reset every half season, which has participating in competitive mode less enjoyable. The update went on to explain that the ranks would work with the first half of the season, still concluding February 21st at 12 a.m. Pacific time. Players at gold rank would receive the costume reward, as well as the Crust of Honor for those in Grandmaster and above. And the Crust of Honor for the top 500. Now, when the second half of the season begins, there will be no rank reset. Players will retain their ranks and scores from the end of the first half. So to kind of simplify things even further, to earn more rewards, players need to compete only in 10 matches in competitive mode and meet the conditions by the end of the season. Rewards will include a new gold rank costume and a variety of Crest of Honor featuring different designs for Grandmaster and Eternity and some other things. But yeah, that's some Marvel Rivals news, which I'm kind of shocked when I kind of like floated this idea of this topic, Alex, that you're not playing Marvel.
I played it a little bit. My daughter plays it. To answer a chat question, it is a PC and console game. So it is not on phone to my knowledge. It's not on mobile. Primarily PC and console. My wife plays it quite a bit. My daughter plays it quite a bit. I have played it a little bit. When it first came out, obviously, part of doing this lovely show is I gotta stay inherently plugged in. But it is not my type of game. right? Um, team shooters like this, they're just, it's not my shtick. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm from a business and from a gaming standpoint, I'm wondering if long term it can keep up with things like Overwatch. Will it be able to maintain its player base? You know,
I don't know. I think Marvel Rivals is going to kind of kill off Overwatch.
you
That's me
think
personally.
so?
Yeah.
Um,
The butts are so much nicer in Marvel
oh, of
Rivals.
course. You know, again, they've got a good IP behind it, obviously. Um, they've got a good IP behind it. They've got some good stuff. I'm seeing if I can grab right now. It's doing pretty well right now. It's at 308,000 currently. That's right now on Steam. Peak players is 496. So that's pretty good. I'm gonna see if I can find concurrent players for Overwatch. I know that Overwatch 2 was having some issues when it first released. I think it's at 21,000 right 19,000 for concurrent for Overwatch right now. So again, I think it will be, how long does it have staying power? You know, they've got 10 times the players on right now for what it's worth. I'm all for healthy competition. And again, I think it's well put together.
Yeah.
I think it's a fun game. I like the new Fantastic Four designs they put in. Who are you maining right now, Jay?
Psylocke.
Psylocke?
Yeah.
No, it is not to answer chat. It's not a more normal. Words are hard. It is not a Mortal Kombat knockoff. It's again the closest thing I can compare it to is Overwatch. What would you compare it to?
Valorant.
Valorant.
Yeah, if you played that.
It's an arena shooter-esque team game. You're never by yourself.
No.
Yeah, somebody in the chat's like, it's Overwatch. That was the closest thing I got it to, was Overwatch.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's so much better. Me personally.
Look, I wish them nothing but luck, right? And, you know, again, I think chat's right. In this case, Overwatch is coming off with a brand new IP, you know, This one you can pick your favorite character. You can be Psylocke, you can be Mr. Fantastic, you can be Spider-Man, you can be Hulk, right? You can be Doctor Strange, you can be Black Panther, you could be a shark. My daughter's favorite character is the shark. What's the shark's name? Jeff?
Yes, Jeff, the adorable shark little
Jeff,
guy.
Jeff the shark is my daughter's favorite. You can make a little whirlpool with Jeff that I've seen. He's adorable. He's very cute. You know, so this right here, though, the ranking systems and stuff, this is very normal for these games, right? It's going to take us some time to figure it out. You know?
I mean, as long as they stop like pissing off their fans by freaking them out by like mid-season rank resets.
Yeah. Let's see how they keep going. I want to see where the game is, because it's been out, what, 2 months now?
Yes, I think 2 months.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yeah, it's been out for 2 months. So, like I said, let me see where it is in 6 months to a year. You know, see how they continue to improve the game. are they going to be able to get new players in who are learning about the game? Because I know for me, that's one of the things that kept me away from Overwatch is if you weren't in early, it's hard to get into, right? Because the curve is so steep on Overwatch. You know what I mean? So can they fix that? Stuff like that.
Yeah. That, I mean, I think so. I do think Marvel Rivals is like appealing to a different type of gamer. Um, you're appealing to, oh, like people that train. Like there, there's like different programs that you can actually go in and like train to, like aiming programs, right? Where you're just like training yourself to get really accurate, like aiming and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then also inside of Marvel Rivals, you have like a training arena, where you're not actually fighting anyone. You're just trying to master your abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So the like this type of game is meant for the gamers that like. So I was talking to somebody actually, I think yesterday about this, and they were like, "Oh, I don't enjoy Marvel Rivals. That's not a game that you enjoy. Like that's a game that you go to work on. Like you go and you're going to like put in the grind, you're going to put in the effort. Like I forgot what they said, but they're like I try to like log 5 hours every single day so that I know like one day like I'll try to get into like the top 500 or whatever. Like it's a people view it as like a job almost.
Which there's all like in any competitive online game, you're gonna have people like that, right?
Yeah.
You know, um, I said, we see these games come, we see them go. Let's see how long they can hold it up. Again, they seem to be off to a good start. I wish them all the luck in the world. And yeah, don't piss off your players, goofballs. Anyway, let us know what you think down in the comments below. Have you played Marvel Rivals? Did the ranking system piss you off? Did it make you want to punch people? Let us know. All right, last chance there, chat. If you saw anything in the news or on social media or anything like that that you would like us to cover, go ahead and let us know in either one of the chats. We are, again, live on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. So if you are in any one of those, feel free to drop them in the chats there. I am always monitoring. I'm going to have to hire some mods for Twitch. Possibly YouTube. I gotta figure all that out. Thanks to the people that came into the YouTube chat today. That was nice. Did I talk about the Magic Commander deck rank thing? No, we have not. We can talk about it if you guys would like us to talk about it. Have you seen the stuff on that?
No, I have not. What is this?
Okay, here we go. No, I don't want that. I want the new bracket system. Okay. I'm going to record this just in case. Just in case. We want to make a segment out of this. Okay. So, here we go. Magic the Gathering, specifically Commander, which has become the dominant format. And don't zone out, chat. You might actually find this interesting because it changes kind of some of the stuff about Magic. So this might be kind of interesting. Commander is obviously the dominant format for all of Magic the Gathering. It has become the primary format. One of the problems that they've had within Magic the Gathering Commander is power level, right? There is a wide breadth because of the number of cards available and the way that the game is played differently than Standard for how well decks run. And so previously, there was kind of like an unofficial kind of power level 1 through 10 that everybody kind of, guessed kind of where their deck was. And that's what you would do during your, like minute 0 discussing how powerful your deck is. So, one of the things that Magic has decided to do is that they said, okay, what we need to come up with a system, like a real system for power levels for decks, right? So that when you sit down with someone at a table at an FLGS and go, my deck is power level X, everyone can say what power level they're in, and it's official, and then it gives kind of a better gauge of where everybody's at. And that's what Magic's trying to do. So, this week they premiered the beta version of that bracketing system, right? It is now up. Okay? It comes down into 5 brackets, right? I'm actually going to start with bracket 2, okay? Bracket 2 is kind of the baseline. What Magic says is basically all precons, pre-constructed commander decks going forward will be considered bracket 2, right? What does that mean? It's your average precon deck. It means there's no mass land destruction, no mass land denial, no chaining extra turns, no 2-card infinite combos, none of what they call game changer cards, and very few tutors. They're not clear on tutor. I'm guessing it's less than 3, right? This is the baseline, right? Below that is like meme decks, right? Like people who build decks for something goofy, right? I want a horsey deck. Like I'm working on a horsey deck right now. I do not expect it to win. I want horses. It will be led by Shadowfax, which is fucking Gandalf's horse, right? That's the commander, right? So they're goofy decks. They don't ever expect to win. They're just silly. Upgraded. This is a precon deck or a average deck that has been improved, right? So it's like if you take a precon deck and kind of add it. So still no mass land denial, no chaining turns. You can have late game 2-card combo, infinite combos, and 3 game changer cards, right? What they call game changers. 4 and 5 is basically CEDH. They're calling 5 CEDH, but 4 and 5 are CEDH because there's no restrictions other than the ban list, right? What are some good things that could be coming out of this that they've said? 1, in the article, they say expect the ban list to get shorter, right? We're probably going to unban a bunch of cards. But what they're going to do is they're going to put them on that game changer list. And if you're running them, you're in bracket 4 and 5. Right? That's what it is. They're trying to improve the experience for people at game stores. That's really what I think. Okay. To give you a general idea of the game changer list, it's a lot of tutors. It's a lot of really high powered cards. Force of Will, Rhystic Study, Demonic Tutor, Imperial Seal. These are all really expensive cards, but they're played in CEDH. Right? Mox Diamond, Mana Vault. I think that the game changer list is probably going to double the number of cards on that list. So that's what they're attempting to do. Right? They have already given the information to Architect and Moxfield, which are 2 online systems you can use to do deck building, to kind of do that. And there's already some problems. People are spotting problems already. Okay. With the deck builders and seeing where everything's falling. But first off, Jay, what are your thoughts on just this as a concept? Keeping in mind, this is their beta version. They expect to change it after MagicCon Chicago in April.
Yeah, I guess I just don't understand why.
So, as a former game store owner, right,
Yeah.
and somebody who still plays weekly-ish at an FLGS, here's the why. Let's say I go to my FLGS and I'm me and a friend, one friend, and we're looking for a random commander game to get into, right? When I sit down with a couple other people at the FLGS, I don't know what power level they're running, right? They're like, oh yeah, my deck's like, it's okay, right? It's good. It's fine, right? And then I sit down with them and I get my teeth kicked in, right? This is pushing players out of the hobby, which is not what Magic wants, right? Yeah. Same thing even if you're playing friendly games, right? A lot easier because I have a couple of friends that I play with pretty regularly that I give shit to because I'm like, you cannot build a casual deck because they frequently just beat the skin off of me in Magic, right? Which it's not fun to play any game where you lose all the time, right? So they're trying to balance their most difficult to balance system. So that would be the why.
Okay, so yeah, it's so it's kind of like chess then, right? Like you want to make sure that you're not going up against like a chess grandmaster when you're just starting out. Like you need to work your way up. Well, I guess you're not really working your way up, but you want to play with players on your own kind of deck level.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So I mean like yeah, no, this makes sense. Like I think this is a pretty good idea. I would be interested to see this like kind of roll out though.
So the rollout has been rough. And I'll say it this way. And the reason the rollout has been rough is I think it's a little too broad. So what I'm going to do just as an example, right? And I input a bunch of my decks into Architect so that I could see where they fell, right? As I input them, right? Basically all of my decks came in at bracket 1 or 2, even ones that I know shouldn't be. Right? This is a good example. This is my Morophon deck. It's my Templar Knight deck. It's pretty good. It's going to win turn 6, turn 7 at the latest. Right? Or unless somebody knows what's coming and then they're going to block it. Right? It's got some other stuff to it. Even my most, like, I input another one of my ones, which is my Jet Meter deck. And one of my buddies was like, how is that a level 1? Like, I don't... like, how is that possible? I have some, again, more powerful decks that are coming in at 1 or 2. When you go over to Mox Field, which is the other system, so it looks like to me, Architect has kind of mushed 1 and 2 together because it always says 1 or 2, right? It never breaks them apart. Mox Field, it basically is bracketing everything at 1 unless it's a power deck.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, again, I think they need to... One of the things that I saw some commentary on is they do not take into account synergy at all.
Yeah, that makes sense. That would be hard to do, I think.
And that's the difficulty. First up, because Commander allows every card of Magic that's ever been made, right? It's not like Standard or Modern, where it's like specific sets that are within the rotation. No. You can use whatever. If it's ever been printed, you can use it, right? So that's God knows how many cards. So they're not taking into account synergy. They're not taking into account a bunch of stuff. I think we're going to see that come. And I think that Game Changer list, which right now is like 30 something cards, I think you're going to see that double. You know, I think it's going to get a lot bigger.
Yeah. Interesting.
You know. So, here's what I'll say. I will give Magic credit for trying.
Yeah.
I think it's a good... I think they have good intent. I think they may be a little early on even releasing this beta. Right? That would be my only critique so far. Is I think they released this beta just a smidge too soon. Because I don't think there's enough to it yet.
Yeah. Either you would have to have some sort of like, I kind of feel like AI evaluating your synergy, or you're going to have to like.
So I'm glad you brought that up. We talked about this the other day because they're not talking about synergy. And we were like, how can they do it? I said, this is one of the few areas where I would advocate for the use of AI. Right?
Yeah.
Is I would use something like DeepSeek to be like, build me the most synergistic deck without using these game changers, and then run simulated games. Run me 1,000 simulated games.
Yeah.
So I can see what happens.
Yeah.
Right? Or build me a deck around every commander, right? Using its synergies, and tell me what happens. you know. So this we actually talked about that the other day. We were like, you know what? This is a place where Magic should use AI.
100%. Because the only other way you would do it is you would have to have like a physical person going through your deck and evaluating it, which is just not going to happen.
Well, and that's why they gave it to Architect and Moxfield, was that, you know, I can put all my cards in and it's supposed to evaluate it for me.
Yeah.
I'm saying they don't even have enough information to give Architect and Moxfield to have it like properly, you know, classifying decks, you know. So take that for what it's worth, right? Yeah, let us know what you think down in the comments below. Do you like the new bracket system? Obviously, could use some improvements. What would you do if you were Magic and wanted to try and balance out the game a little bit better? This is an area where I give Games Workshop a lot of credit. They have such a good system for Warhammer to keep it balanced, right? But they're 25 years, 30 years ahead of Wizards in building a balanced game.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. All right, chat. Last chance. Anything else you guys got? Somebody gave us that Magic topic. Anything else?
Chat.
We're doing pretty good. You guys got anything juicy? RIP squats. Yeah. Well, they brought him back. Now you've got the other dwarves. You got Votan. So they brought him back. Yeah. Somebody brought up the Magic Gathering Arms. Magic actually has like a really deep lore to it. There's main characters. There's some super deep lore to Magic. I did Aetherdrift pre-release a couple weeks ago. That was pretty fun. I like sealed events. They're still some of my favorites. More so than Commander. Because I'm less worried about deck tuning. You know, so take that for what it's worth. All right. Well, after our initial technical problems, I think we did pretty good, Jay. What do you think?
I think it's Kevin. The fucking kitty.
Where did he go? Where did the Octo Kitty go?
I got rid of him because of all the issues. I'm in the dark. That's never happened before. I think it's cursed. I think Kevin the Octo Kitty is cursed.
Nah. Kevin's too cute to be cursed. Any hype for the Netflix D&D show? No. Not personally. Jay?
I haven't even heard about this.
So Netflix got the rights to do a D&D TV show. We haven't talked about it because there's not a lot to talk about, chat. Not yet. Supposedly, Sean Levy is attached as the showrunner. Supposedly. I don't know if it's true or not. He's a good filmmaker. I like Sean Levy quite a bit. He did a lot with Stranger Things. He produced Deadpool and Wolverine. What has he directed? He directed Deadpool and Wolverine. He directed the Atom Projects. He did a bunch. I said he did 8 episodes of Stranger Things. What else? Night at the Museum. He directed Night at the Museum.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a long filmography and he's a good director.
Promising.
It is supposedly going to be set in Forgotten Realms. Again, we don't know a lot about it yet. I also don't put it past Netflix to put the show on and cancel it after a season and a half.
Yeah, that's like I don't know, that's my only worry, I guess.
Because unless it's a runaway hit, they dump it.
Yeah.
Netflix don't care.
They don't.
I will say I think the television is probably a better medium for Dungeons & Dragons than a movie. because you can't tell the kind of long form stories in film, in cinema, that you can on television. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just got more screen time to dive into character and world building and all that shit.
Yeah. Unless you're Daredevil.
Unless you're Marvel.
Yeah.
You know. They're 35 movies in.
That's true. And I will say the original kind of movies were not, unless, not counting Blade, right? Like the first few Hulks were not that great. No one likes to talk about that.
No. You know. So yeah, as soon as I know more about the Netflix D&D show, I'm sure we'll do topics on it.
Oh yeah.
There is actually, I know earlier in the show I said don't talk about it unless Hollywood Reporter, the Variety, blah, but there is a pretty credible rumor that the new Harry Potter show found its Dumbledore, and it's surprising.
Who is it?
John Lithgow.
Who is that?
Oh, you know John Lithgow.
John...
He's been everywhere. He is a very famous actor.
Oh,
from Third Rock, he was in Dexter.
Yeah.
Going all the way back, he was in The World According to Garp. He was in Footloose, Harry and the Hendersons. He's been around forever. And the rumor is he is going to be Dumbledore. Deadline, actually, there we go. So see, I can stick to my statement earlier, right?
Yeah.
That Deadline's reporting that he is nearing finishing his deal to play Dumbledore in the new movie or in the new TV show. This tells me a couple of things. It tells me that JK is not heavily involved.
So
when they made the movies, when Warner Brothers made the films, she had a right, because she had a lot of control in the films. She was like, you have to have British actors, UK actors playing all the roles.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she was adamant that they had UK actors in all the roles. Warner Brothers casting an American as one of the premier roles, and I'm not even talking like a minor role. Like, Dumbledore is critical to the story. Right? That tells me that she may not be as involved in this series as she was.
Well, I don't think like she will ever be as involved with Harry Potter ever again.
It would not surprise me if Warner Brothers, because she refuses to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me if they've said, you have a choice. You can shut up, or we're distancing you from the project, because all it's going to do is hurt us.
Yeah.
You know. So, yeah.
But yeah, I believe, what was it, like last year, the year before, there was like the anniversary of Harry Potter. What was it, like 10 or 20 years since Harry Potter came out? I think it was 20 years. HBO did this like really big special, got the cast back together, talked about the movies and everything like that. She was not invited.
Doesn't surprise me.
So I don't think, with the way that the backlash has been against Harry Potter, I don't think you can move forward with Harry Potter and have her like involved really in any way or form. Which is a good thing, because so a lot of my friends in the transgender community have completely wrote off everything Harry Potter. They've
Yep.
boycotted Harry Potter.
Yep.
And I completely understand that.
Yep.
I am so this is my stance. I try to separate the artist from the art. And because we had this debate when Hogwarts Legacy came out. And it was like, Jay, you're such a big ally to the LGBTQ plus community. How could you play this game? And my response is this. I grew up loving Harry Potter.
Before JK lost her mind.
Yeah. I was on book 3 when the movies were announced. Like, it's the only book series that like I've gone to a midnight release for a book. I do not agree with anything that J.K. Rowling has stated, and I think she's a pretty shitty person. But to go in and to try to boycott a video game or boycott a TV show, especially something that she has no kind of involvement in. So like let's play a little game here. This TV show, let's pretend like she has no input into this TV show whatsoever. If we boycott that TV show, you're not hurting her. She has already made her millions and billions of dollars.
Billions.
She's set up for the rest of her life in a castle. She's done. Who you're hurting?
Wasn't she living in like a moldy house?
So I don't know. She does still live in Edinburgh. I went there on my little escapade around England. Beautiful place. It is the place that inspired Harry Potter. You walk around, you see the castle on the hill. Yep, that's Hogwarts. You walk around, you see the private school that every year does like a lottery. It will take orphans from the orphanage, give them a full ride scholarship into the private school, and tell no one, not even the teachers, that they're orphans. So that's their I don't know, chance at having a normal life, if you will. Harry Potter. You go through the cemetery and you go to Tom Riddle's grave. I mean, like Professor McGonagall's grave. Like it's the city that inspired Harry Potter. And she still lives there today. And it's an old town. Like I wouldn't be surprised if she lived in a moldy house. But no, back to the point. You're not gonna hurt her. You're going to hurt like the artists that have spent like thousands of hours like developing the game. You're going to hurt like maybe up and coming actors that are trying to get their foot into the industry. Because I mean, think about like some actor playing Harry Potter, the TV show bombs. No one's gonna want to like hire that guy for like another gig, probably.
So I'm gonna go through some of the chat stuff.
Oh God.
Do I think Warner Brothers has a clause to fire her like what's her name from Mandalorian? No, almost certainly not. And the reason is this: J.K. Rowling is the rights holder. She owns the rights to Harry Potter. She created it. She wrote it. It's her rights. She has licensed those rights to Warner Brothers many, 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 many moons ago when they started making movies. Warner Brothers bid. I'm sure a lot of studios bid. Warner Brothers has the rights. Now, her level of involvement, where she's at in the projects, my understanding was for both the movies and the theme park, she was deeply, deeply involved in both of those things. Much to many people's consternation, but she was deeply involved in those projects. Is there a so there'll be different types of clauses. There will be a morality clause in every actor's contract, right? So, for example, if actor A is arrested for rape, right, and they're working on a project, and they're found guilty, hell, even if they're not found guilty, if they're just arrested, the studio can exercise a morality clause and go, look, you're done. We're firing you. You're off the movie, right? They've done it very, like, they had to, when the whole shit with Kevin Spacey went down, they had to redo an entire movie and, like, Photoshop somebody's head onto Spacey and have somebody else do the lines. I forget what movie it was. Because they exercised the morality clause. So, yeah, they probably used that on Jonathan Majors for Kang, although the rumor is now that he's been found mostly not guilty, they're going to bring her back. Right? So do they have that? No. Now, they will probably also have a clause regarding certain things about how close they can be to the project based on what they're doing. Again, it wouldn't shock me if Warner Brothers went to her people, her team, and said, she needs to shut up. Like, because you got to remember, both JK and Warner Brothers have teams, not just one person. They don't have just an agent, right? When you're a creator the size of George R.R. Martin or J.K. Rowling, you have a fucking team, right? You have an agent, you have a manager, you have a business manager, you've got multiple attorneys, you've got a PR team, you've got a whole team. And so does Warner Brothers. And I'm certain Warner Brothers team went to her team and said, can you please get her to shut? Because you'll notice for a while she went quiet. Yeah. She went dark for a bit, right? And she's less prolific now. She's not saying as much, right? She's been quieter. And now she's kind of changing out some of the stuff she's talking about. So I'm certain that Warner Brothers is like, dude, you're killing us here. Ezra Miller did violate his morality clause, and that's why, well, it's one of the reasons why he wasn't around for any of the Flash promotion at all. That's probably the reason the movie bombed. One of the reasons. We're probably okay. Look, and I'm not wishing death. And yes, she's going to continue to make royalties on it for the rest of her life. Yes. So when the movies are made, I'm sure she's getting back end. The funny thing about a Max TV show, she's actually probably not making much on it. As far as money goes, because HBOMax is a subscription service. It's not like television where they have back end from advertising and stuff like that. Something like a Max TV show, she's probably not getting much. Right? Especially not compared to the billions she's already made. And yeah, she's going to continue spending her money how she wants to spend it. Yeah. Yes, and there are crappy people who latch onto the things that she says and say more shitty things. She's not the only one. She's absolutely not the only one. We're probably going to have to talk about this as a topic sometime. And we may end up having to do like a very special episode. We'll go back to the 80s and 90s and do like a very special, like super serious episode. About art versus the artist. As there's some commentary here in the chat that I'm saying that I want to address, but I don't know if we have time to do today.
We can just keep going. We got all the time in the world.
And again, I personally don't interact with the IP that much. Now, I am not like Jay. I read the books. I've seen all the movies. But as far as like top 5 franchises go, it doesn't crack the list for me. Right? For varying reasons. Right? And if you guys want us to get into a discussion about the ins and outs of Harry Potter and her writing there, I guess we can. I don't know how well the show's going to do, kind of bringing it back, for a couple of reasons. One, honestly, I think it's too soon to remake it. Right? That would be like if Disney came out tomorrow and said, we're remaking Star Wars, but as a TV show, like from the beginning.
I knew you were going to go there.
Like, why? Like, you don't need to. And quite frankly, the Harry Potter movies are a lot younger than Star Wars.
Yep.
I understand. The problem that Warner Brothers has is they did pay a licensing fee for this franchise.
Hmm.
And their business. They got to make money off this franchise. And the problem is she's not writing Harry Potter novels. If she was still writing Harry Potter novels and wasn't spending all her time on Twitter shitting on trans people, we probably wouldn't be having this discussion. Please note, there's no Harry Potter novels. Nothing. She wrote a mildly well-received play.
Yeah.
But that didn't go well. Not really well. I mean, it was a fine. I mean, it was financially successful, I'm sure, because it's Harry Potter. But it's not like it was blowing the doors off, and nobody's asking to make that as a movie. I don't know why she's not writing.
I think she doesn't have to. So going into kind of her history a little bit, when she was writing Harry Potter, I mean, she was on the verge of being homeless.
Mm-hmm.
So she had moved back to Edinburgh to live with her sister, I believe. She was living off of welfare. She would go to this little coffee shop that her I can't remember. I can't remember if it's her I think it was her, like, someone, maybe her sister's husband or something, I can't remember, but, like, owned the coffee shop and would let her come in and have free coffee, and she would sit there and she would write the book. And this is kind of like a burn the boats kind of moment, right? Like, either Harry Potter is going to be my ticket out, like I'm going to be able to support myself and like my family,
Mm-hmm.
or it's going to bomb horribly and I'm going to be like pretty much homeless. Like, this is it. And she does have a degree, I believe, in literature, so she's educated. Sorry. And yeah, I think when you have that kind of mentality of like your back's against the wall and you have to do something, or that's it, it's game over. Um, some people are able to perform. They're able to pull it out. She did that. Now though that she has her billions, like I would say like success has kind of broken her. She doesn't have the need to write anymore. Like, it's done.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Somebody in the chat's comparing her to H.P. Lovecraft. That's not a bad comparison. It's really not. He was a pretty shitty person too. Um, again, I think that separating art from artists again is a very personal subject. Um, the thing about the J.K. Rowling thing, to me, is that as somebody who's been up in fiction since I was a small child, this is not the first time I've had to grapple with this. You know, where I'm like, crap. And sometimes I'm able to do it, sometimes I'm not. Like, I used to love Arthur C. Clarke. Can't read his stuff anymore. Just can't. I can't bring myself to do it. Even though he's dead and even though he's not making money, I can't do it. Right? Because it's always in the back of my mind. I'd limit my interaction with Harry Potter. Again, mostly because it's not one of my favorite franchises. It's just not. Again, bring us back around. What do you think? Do you think it's too soon to try and remake this?
So me personally, no. Because this is kind of, from my understanding, how they've kind of portrayed this series. This is supposed to be very book accurate.
Yes.
And so the issue is, like, if you haven't read the books, there was a lot of stuff that was in the books that was never put on the
Mm-hmm.
big screen because you just didn't have time.
Mm-hmm.
Now going back and making a TV show makes real like it makes sense because you can hit every single aspect of the book and maybe even expand on like some aspects of the world. But um yeah, so I would say this is like appealing to like the book nerds, the people that have actually read the book, but also you're getting into the next generation of children that did not grow up with this. Like I will say for me,
But the movies still exist for those children,
yeah,
right?
they
I
do.
I'm saying, can they hit wide audience with this?
I'm gonna say yes just because it's Harry Potter. Like, have you ever been to Universal Studios?
I have not. I've heard that the Harry Potter world is extremely immersive. It's very well put together. That Universal did a damn good job recreating Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley and all those places. Like, and again, I've heard it is extremely immersive.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, and every single year, and butterbeer sales alone, I think it's like millions
And
of dollars.
I've tried it. It's not good.
It's not really that good.
It's
Like
not good.
it's like okay in the park, but it's not like the best thing. Like actually going to oh god, what was it? Hogshead and just getting like a pint of beer is actually better than the actual butterbeer, but um no, I don't know, seeing the crowds like every single year, like people flying in all over the country, even like the world just to go see like Harry Potter Land. I don't know. I think it's going to do well.
Well, I think it has the potential to do well.
Yeah,
I'm massive. It has potential.
it's going to depend on like the execution of it for sure, but
I think I think for sure, and so getting into just the production of it, I don't know what black magic goats they sacrificed to get Dan Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson cast in those films, right? But that trio made those movies, right? Casting a new Harry, Ron, and Hermione is going to make or break that show,
yeah.
right? And also, you're going to have to do it at the speed they did the movies because kids grow up, right? And you're
Yeah.
going to make 8 seasons, which is what they're saying, right? One season each for books 1 through 6, 2 seasons for book 7, right?
Yeah.
You better be cooking. Not you better not be making shows at the speed most streamers make shows, because to make 8 seasons, if you go at normal streamer speed, them kids are going to be 30 by the time they graduate Hogwarts.
Yeah.
You're basically going to be in nonstop production for 10 years. But yeah, casting is going to be critical. I can't picture anybody but Dan Radcliffe as Harry.
Yeah. I um just like reading the comment. um it is actually kind of funny. I will just say like I was on book 3 when all the demonic stuff kind of came up, and my dad like asked to look at the Harry Potter book that I was reading and was like, "Okay, yeah, this is fine." But um I believe in like the casting of the first movie. I believe they went through like thousands of people
They
though.
did, but again, they struck fucking gold.
Yeah.
You have to have kids who not only can basically carry a show, right? Which is a lot harder than carrying a movie, right? Listen to any actor get talk about, man. Doing a show is so much pressure because it's so much more filming. It's so much more screen time. It's so much more work just for the actor that holy crap, right? Again, and this kid's going to be compared to Dan Radcliffe. Whoever they get for Harry, there's no way around it. And I think the one downside to the show, that the one speed bump they've really, really got is they have no, especially since these movies are not that old and they were so well made, is there's going to be people going in with a lot of preconceived notions about what it should look like. Right? I remember how weird everybody got with the third movie after because Chris Columbus directed the first two, right? And then the first Dumbledore died and they moved over to Alfonso Cuarón, right? To direct the third film. And people flipped out because the tone in the third movie is not like the first two. The filmmaking style is not like Chris Columbus. And then again, you got a new Dumbledore. You got new directors, like, holy smokes. Like, but people are going to be comparing this to the old movies.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So how do you do it? You know, how do you get people past that?
It's going to be movie magic, man. That's, or I guess TV show magic. But this is
It's tough.
This is like what is really this is what's really sad about like the Harry Potter franchise. The Harry Potter why is Harry Potter so popular, right? Why? Like Alex, like what are your thoughts? Why do people go to Harry Potter? Because I have like my idea, but what's your thoughts?
I think that my personal feeling, right, is, and I think this is actually one of the reasons I probably didn't touch on Harry Potter as much, because by the time, when did the first Harry Potter book come out? Yeah. I had aged out of the primary demo for Harry Potter by the time Harry Potter came out. Does that make sense? Like, I was not in their primary demo. I was already an adult. I think Harry Potter, again, speaks to that dream that a lot of kids, and I think every kid daydreams about waking up one day and be like, your parents are like, you're a wizard, or you have special powers, or, you know, you're secret. Like, it's the same reason why, like, you remember all those ones on the Disney Channel that were like the kids' spies?
Yeah.
Right? Same thing. Right? It's the same thing. It's that it touches on that daydream that children have, that they're going to wake up one day and find out about this secret, cool world that they get to be a part of. Right? That I think really hit a lot of kids right in the feels, right when those movies were coming out and those shows, right? You know, that I think is why it hits so well, right? And I think to their primary demo, it continues to speak to that dream, that daydream, right? Of a magic world that they get to be a part of and that they would love to be a part of. And so that's why I think the Harry Potter franchise really struck gold, right? And the way that she wrote it works so well for speaking. And I think the primary demo being like between 11 and 14, 15, right? I think it hits them right. And her prose, the way that she writes, the way that she constructed the story, the way all this shit happened, the way it comes together. And then again, the kids aged with them, right? So if you started reading Harry when you were, 10, when it first came out, you aged with Harry, right? When he got his first crush on Ginny, when he got his first girlfriend, when he's getting ready to take his exams, when he's getting ready to leave Hogwarts, right? Because she always interwove all that stuff until book 7. That stuff was always interwoven into the books, right? School dances and girlfriends and exams and what. And I think it was book 5? No, it was book 6. Where they're like, what are you going to do when you leave Hogwarts? Well, I want to be an Auror, but I can't take potions, right? Oh, you couldn't when Snape was the potions professor, but he'll take you because he doesn't require the outstanding on the owls, right? Like, you know, all that stuff aged with those kids, right? They grew with Harry and Hermione and Ron. Also, the 3 primary characters, 4 or 5 of the characters really, because I include Draco into that. She hits the archetypes for kids so well, right? And it does that. She did it very, very well, right? It's why I think that I quite frankly think that The Cursed Child was so bad. I read it. It's not good. I'm sorry. No. It's not good. And the reason is there's a big time and she was trying to go back again and it just didn't work. Right? I don't know if she's just not capable of writing anything but that. You know. Somebody in the chat said, raise your hand if you open the grocery store doors with the force. I did do that. I mean, would you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, no, totally. And this is like the sad aspect of Harry Potter because you are appealing to children and a lot of like who really kind of, I don't know, became attached to Harry Potter are the people that were very different and wanted to escape from their lives.
Yeah.
And wanted just to
and this is also why I think a lot of LGBTQ kids, before she went nuts, fucking hit on Harry, because it was very popular in the LGBTQ community.
Yeah. Because like no matter who you are or where you're from, in a way, like the story of Harry Potter is you are Harry. Like you're, you know, kind of like what you mentioned is you could just wake up one day and be kind of have everything, like have friends, be whisked away to a magical place where you're, you know, I mean, like Harry's parents were kind of famous in school, so they're like, oh, like look, here's your dad's trophy, like, oh, you know, like instead of being a no one being picked on all the time, which, and I mean, like I was 9 when the Harry Potter books came out in the US.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I loved Harry Potter so much because I desperately wanted to be Harry Potter. I wanted to wake up and have Hagrid like come take me away from my abusive family relationship. I wanted not to be homeless anymore. Yeah, like my life sucked when I was a kid and I wanted to wake up and be Harry Potter one day. And you do grow up with the books. Like every single book, you know, as you're kind of getting older, Harry Potter is doing the same exact things that like you are doing. Like I don't know. And that I say it's really sad because, you know, I do feel like a lot of LGBTQ plus children really connected hard with it, and then fast forward 20 years
later. She betrayed them. Yes, so she originally wrote under the pen name Robert Galbraith because she didn't, first off, it's a very different genre of books. It's adult fiction, and she didn't want to trade on her name for this series of books, right? And this is actually where I think she got into trouble, right? Because she did what most authors don't, right? She wrote her first book and struck gold, right?
Yeah.
99.5% of authors do not become millionaires off their first book. Okay? They just don't. You do not spawn a worldwide recognized international franchise off the first fucking thing you put pen to paper. Right? You just don't. That doesn't happen. It happened to her, and she is the exception that proves the rule. So when she went to go write the Cormoran series, she wrote under a pen name, and nobody knew for like a year. And then she let it slip, I think, because the sales were garbage. Right? They didn't do well at all. I haven't read them because I don't think I've heard they're not very good. She's written 7 of them. I know she'd written a few, but I didn't realize she'd written 7. They're nowhere near Harry Potter.
No.
Not even close. Okay. And she struck gold with her first book. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. And I agree with what Jay said earlier, right? Like, I think it kind of drove her nuts. I think it going from broken homeless to rich and powerful that fast, I think has an issue in your head. Again, she hasn't done great with anything else.
Yeah.
You know. And do I know if Harry Potter's going to hold up as well as Sherlock Holmes? No, I don't. Tough to say. But yeah, she struck gold. We can have longer discussions about the stuff, you know. Again, I think they're well constructed as narrative. I think the stories follow a good, clean path. I think her world building is garbage. I thought it was mediocre. And then she created Makusa. And then I was like, oh, you're really bad at this. Like, really bad at this. You know what I'm talking about?
No,
The Magical Congress of the USA.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
When she was trying to do the expansion stuff into the Americas, and I was like, oh, you don't First off, how you created a magical Congress before the country existed is beyond me. But let's move past that. You literally just were like, Congress and a president, sure. I was like, oh wow. You and she also did some stuff with native things, like incorporating Native American magic, where I was like, ooh, that's a little cringe, JK. Little cringe. Thanks for coming by, God's Magic. Glad you liked the show. We've actually gotten some effusive praise for the show tonight in chat. Thank you, chat. Yeah. To address something else chat said about Star Wars. They're not going to start over. Disney's not going to do it. They will not do it. Like, we can shoulda, coulda, woulda about Star Wars all day long. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. So my advice to my friends is don't spin up about the things we wish they would do. That we just know is not happening. Okay? And if you're mad about the Thrawn stuff, you need to get mad at George, right? George's biggest mistake was that he did not create sequels 5 years after Return of the Jedi. There was a 16-year gap. People forget, 16-year gap between Return of the Jedi and Episode 1. He was in no hurry to make more Star Wars. He did not care. Okay? And if he was going to do it, he should have done it in the late 80s. He should have done it in 87, 88. Fine. Look, dude, I understand. George, you spent 6 years on Star Wars, and that's brutal. Brutal work where you were working constantly. Take 5 years off. Then come back to it. Right? He didn't want to. Okay? And also that would have been Thrawn anyway because that didn't get written until the 90s. Right? That was Timothy Zahn. And George absolutely hated the novels. Could not stand them. Okay? Didn't like them. Didn't acknowledge they existed. In his mind, didn't care. Like, if people wanted to write him, they were going to, pay him licensing fees. Fuck it, give me money. And honestly, if I was JK, that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
If I was JK, bring this full circle, baby. If I was JK Rowling, I would have stopped writing it and I would have let other people write stuff in the world of Harry Potter, in the wizarding world. Have some editorial content, like be able to say yes, no to certain concepts, sure. But let other... How many great Harry Potter fanfic authors were there out there? How much Harry Potter fanfic porn was there out there? I know. I heard about it. Okay. So, Jay, actually, I'll ask you this question. We'll go about... Are you up for this, Jay? About 9 more minutes and then we'll call it for the night?
Yeah.
All right. Top 3 franchises.
Oh, God.
I think I'm guessing Harry Potter is number 1 for you, in spite of...
Oh God. I would have to say Harry Potter, number 1. Star Wars, number 2. Number 3. What would be my number 3?
Does not have to just be movies.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
No, I think I think to qualify as a franchise, I think it's got to be multimedia.
Okay. While I think about my third one, what about you? What are your top 3?
Okay, number 1, far and away, is Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Star Wars is my favorite. It's always been my favorite. It was my first big franchise as a child. I grew up with Star Wars, right, when I was a very young child, right? Number 2, I got to give it to Marvel. Growing up reading the comic books, loved the comic books when I was a kid. Marvel was my favorite comic book brand when I was a kid, right? Loved Marvel. Love Marvel. Number 3. As much as I don't love what they've been doing lately. But when you're talking about like formative and like my favorite franchise, Star Trek has got to be it. I love Star Trek.
Interesting. I would have to say my number 3 is Pokemon.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a very good one.
Growing up, I was such a Pokemon nerd. I actually got in trouble for talking about Pokemon too much. Yeah, that's a different topic. But yeah. No, I would have to say Pokemon. I was obsessed. You couldn't get me.
I loved that Ash final battle sequence that they did, was that a couple years ago when Pikachu beats Charizard in the final gym. Loved it.
Yeah. It's that's like something that's actually very surprising to me that Pokemon is still going on today. That's something, if I could go back, I would say, oh no, Pokemon's going to like probably die out. Because I'll say, like, when we started getting past the 151, I didn't like it. I didn't really like it a whole lot. Like I really only wanted to focus on the original 151 Pokemon, but I'm surprised that the show is still going on. I'm surprised that they're still pumping out games. Um yeah, I still to this day buy like Pokemon cards.
Um, so to answer chat question, yes, I do count Transformers and GI Joe as franchises for these purposes because they are multimedia franchises. They've been television shows, they've been movies, they have been comic books, they have been toys. They absolutely count as a multimedia franchise. Other acceptable answers would be Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, right? Mario would be a franchise, right? Somebody put it there. Why did George allow the Star Wars books? He allowed them because he made money. That was why he allowed them. Now, he decided whatever Star Wars book would follow. No, he didn't. That is a common misconception. He had almost no editorial input into the Star Wars novels and did not pay attention to what was happening. That did change in 97, 98, 99, that time period, because he made some other changes to some things. So like the death of Anakin Solo in the old EU was a George call because he did not want two characters associated with the franchise named Anakin. Full stop, because he was getting ready to make the prequels. He knew almost nothing about the novels. He did not consider them canon. He did not consider them anything. There's some good articles about this where Pablo Hidalgo and Dave Filoni talk about the versions of George canon, right, and what he considered canon. But he did not consider the novels canon. He hated them. He couldn't stand them. But he made money, so he didn't care. Same with the video games. He didn't give a crap.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned the Anne Rice Vampire series. That's it. That would be another franchise. Yeah, I would accept that as a franchise answer. Yeah, I'll find those articles about the. Hang on, let me see if I can find them real quick. I'll see if I can drop them in the chat. Yeah, again, I am a massive Star Wars fan. Love Star Wars. I am still upset that I haven't had a Star Wars movie in 5 years. Pissing me off. I want a new Star Wars movie, like yesterday. Key, the 6 levels of canon. Yeah, hang on. I'm trying to find T canon. It's not supposed to be part of the EU pillar. Yeah, they've got a whole. There's actually like a letter code for all of it. You can go into the big. Here, I'll drop this in here. I'm not going to read it all off right now, but that link will bring you to the Wikipedia article where they have references, like where they reference, where they talk about all the various types of canon for Star Wars. George had his own version of canon, right? Yeah, it's a whole thing. G canon is George, T canon was the television, C canon and S canon. G, T, C, and S. Right? C canon and S canon basically just was all the EU books and all the comic books, and they were not canon. Basically. Yeah, the Anne Rice stuff was very popular for a long time. In fact, they've got a show going now. They redid Interview with the Vampire.
Yes.
Is it good? It's not my cup of tea, but
I loved it.
All right, chat. Since you got us for a few more minutes, we could talk about franchises and stuff. But yeah, I loved Transformers and GI Joe. I was right in the age demo when those cartoons were extremely popular. Right. Yeah, it's on AMC, Odious, is the Interview with the Vampire. I believe it's on AMC. Jay, am I right about that?
Yes.
Same channel that made Mad Men.
Yeah, I watch it through like Amazon Prime, but I believe it's like on the AMC channel.
Yep. Yeah, it's there. It's there. Yeah, I was right in the age demo for G.I. Joe and Transformers. If I was to go like top 5, I would throw DC in there, specifically Batman. I love Batman, right? Always love Batman.
Yep.
Um, I am not as up on DC comic continuity as I probably could stand to be, you know? Like rounding out my top 10 somewhere would be Ninja Turtles. I love Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles is great.
Yep.
I know I did this on the show like 2 years ago because I was having a conversation at the game store with a younger kid, one of the kids that used to hang out at our store. And we were talking about movies. And he was like, I've never seen that. I'm like, how have you not seen some of these films? And so I came up with my top 20, like pop culture, like how you need to watch these films or you are not a human. Right. So if I need to redo that segment and Jay and I can give our top 20, like,
yeah,
you need to watch these films. We can do that. It's going to be a long segment.
Let's do it.
All right. We'll try and plan it for a couple weeks from now. Again, I've got a list, of like, you better have watched these movies.
Just movies, or are we also going to throw in?
We're talking just movies for this one. Television is harder. And I feel bad for kids today in some way because streaming messes up channel surfing. When you were sick when you were a kid and you were stuck with channel surfing, you would stumble onto shows that if I was rolling through Netflix, I never would have given a chance to. But because I was stuck at home sick or stuck at home in the summer or in the winter, like on winter break when all your friends were busy or your friends went out of the town to their family's house and you were just like, and you would stop on something just because there was nothing else on.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Even going to... I didn't go to Blockbuster. I mean, I did one time.
I love Blockbuster. God.
But we had a Top Banana rental? I think it was Top Banana is what it was called. Today, I would probably never watch Lawnmower Man. But when you're walking through the aisles and you're just like, sure, I don't know. Yeah.
My daughter brought up Blockbuster. She's like, that sounds stupid. I was like, no. I was like, if you were alive at that time, you would realize that Blockbuster Friday was a time-honored tradition, and we loved it. It was like one of the highlights of the week was getting 2 movies and a Nintendo game, because my Blockbuster did like 2 new releases and a Nintendo game for like $9.99 or something like that.
God.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'd go every Friday, and you'd have that Nintendo game over the weekend. And so you'd watch movies Friday night with your family, the 2 movies you picked out. Sometimes mom and dad would pick out a third one that was just for them after you went to bed, right? And then you'd have that Nintendo game. And then Sunday afternoon, when you all went grocery shopping, you'd roll back by the freaking Blockbuster and turn everything in, right?
Yeah.
And that was your weekend, right? And that smell of a Blockbuster I will never forget. If the show gets big enough, you know what we need to do, Jay? If the show gets big enough, and maybe we'll start a GoFundMe or something, you and I need to take a trip. We do a road trip. Do it for the show.
It's the last Blockbuster?
In Bend, Oregon.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. The last Blockbuster.
Next week, let's go. No,
somebody's putting ones in the chat for those movies. Princess Bride, Big Trouble in Little China, Neverending Story. Big Trouble in Little China is not on that list. Neither is Neverending Story.
Oh, God. Neverending Story.
I think it's a great movie. It comes in probably my top 100 movies of all time. But if you look at my Letterboxd profile, in fact, let me pull up and this is just the ones that I've managed to log, right? The ones that I've managed to log in my Letterboxd. Because, do you do Letterboxd, Jay?
I do not. What is this?
It's kind of like a social media app, but it allows you to log all the movies you've seen and rate them, right? But it's like social media, right? And I did it at somebody's recommendation. It's funny. So I have, in my film list, I have watched 834 movies in my life.
God.
It's Letterboxd.
Okay. I'm going to have to sign up for those.
When you first sign up, have an hour. because it's going to give you movies. It's just going to keep feeding them to you. And you're going to be like, yes, I've seen it. No, I haven't. Yes, I've seen it. So you can, yeah, it's an app for your phone. So you can start building out your film list.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And I sat there for like an hour being like, yep. So it's a really, really fun app. And now every time I go see a movie, I just log it in my Letterboxd so I can keep track of everything I'm seeing.
Wow.
So
I'm behind on the times.
I think it's a lot of fun. So you can go look at my Letterboxd and see all the movies. Again, it probably come in my top 100. Probably. God, I've seen enough movies. But yeah, that was what we did when we were kids, right? Plus movie marathons on like TBS. Now, you might be too young for this, Jay, but maybe not. So the other highlight was if you had cable but didn't have the premium channels, right? Every so often, they would do a free preview weekend. And so basically they would descramble HBO, Showtime, or one of the other ones for a weekend. And you would get it for free for just that weekend while they were trying to convince people to sign up. And they would always put the best movies on there. So you'd have your little VCR and you'd just be recording movies all weekend. That's how I saw Dull of 007. If any single movie or show could be remade, readapted into a new movie, and then never remade again, what would you want it to be? Holy crap. That's tough. I'm going to go broad on this one. Because it's been made but not made. I would do all of Asimov's Future History. But it's been made as shows, but never consistently or anything like that. So if I was going to, if somebody was to hand me a franchise tomorrow, right, like Apple TV Plus or HBO or one of those guys and go, make this now, it would be Asimov's Future History. I would make that.
Okay.
Jay, what do you think? Any single movie or show that you would love to remake?
I would love to remake Fast and the Furious and have it that's it.
Just stop there.
Just stop there.
While we're at it, you may as well just remake Point Break, because that's all Fast and the Furious is just Point Break all over again.
Oh God, I actually really like that movie. But yeah, no. Yeah, on one hand, I'm doing the world a favor. No more Fast and the Furious movies ever again.
Yeah.
On the other hand, also doing the world a favor of yeah, just
Remaking Point Break again?
the first one was so good.
It was so good.
It was good. And then the second one was just like, what the hell like it just slowly got out of control. So I wish we could like go back to that, like the car scene, and like the drama with like surrounding the car scene, but that's it. Like I don't want people racing each other on a submarine and blasting off in outer space.
Taking a Fiero to outer space.
Jesus.
Okay. Chris, you may have heard of it. You may just not realize you've heard of it. It all kind of interconnects. It basically starts with iRobot and goes through all the Foundation series. That's where it ends. Apple TV Plus tried to do Foundation a few years ago, and I could only get through 4 episodes before I wanted to like stab myself in the eye, and I was like, I'm done with this. So that's the one. Again, if I had one franchise to work on, if you were to, so many good ones out there that I think have been kind of given short shrift. Sherlock Holmes is another one of my favorite franchises. I love Sherlock Holmes. I've read all of the original stories. I love the adaptations. Most of them. I really love the Robert Downey Jr. ones. They're really good. Um, so I wouldn't remake Star Wars. I don't think it needs to be remade, especially the original trilogy. I think the original trilogy is almost perfect as it is, right? I would remake the sequels.
Yeah.
Um, like, but aside from that, Star Wars is pretty close to perfect. Big Trouble in Little China. Um, it's a cult movie. It's a good movie. It's not bad. It is what it is.
I don't know. Maybe
Any other ones besides your joke, Fast and the Furious one?
I would love to remake Harry Potter and just have it not Ron or any of them, like Harry or any of those characters, but remake it where it's just trans children going to Harry Potter. That would be great.
Yep. All right. Any other burning questions there, chat? I don't know how much energy Jay's got left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I have a very serious one that I would like to remake. Very serious. Battlestar Galactica.
that would a new Battlestar Galactica would be good. I would also be down for a new Firefly.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yep. Like if we could start Firefly over again and really build out that world.
Yeah.
Right? And because that was so good. God damn, was that so good. And fuck you, Fox, for fucking it up so bad.
The cast is going to Comic-Con.
Are they? But not Nathan Fillion.
Wait, hang on. I thought he just joined.
He's been busy.
Um
And I'm not talking, yeah, it wasn't Fox. It was Fox. It was, well, you got to understand that the corporate structure of Fox. It was Fox Television. Their television division screwed that up. I'm being told he will be there. I will be. Nathan Fillion is coming to Comic-Con.
Is he?
I'm going to look. I will be
Oh, no.
shocked.
I was the one that they just added that I confused him with Alan Tudyk.
Tudyk? Oh, I love Alan Tudyk. Alan Tudyk's in everything. Alan Tudyk's great.
He was just announced I think this week.
And I'm sorry, A Knight's Tale, great movie.
Oh yeah.
I will thong you. God, I love that movie.
Oh gosh.
So many great actors in that movie.
Yeah.
Amy Chu will be there. Okay. Let's see who else. Anybody else interesting for ECC this year? I don't care.
Yeah, sounds like Alex is not going because he didn't buy a ticket.
Oh, I'll get tickets. Don't worry. Breckenmeyer. Wow. That's a name I haven't seen in a long time. I'm trying to see if there's anybody I'm interested in meeting.
Wait, what was the actor that you were shocked that would be there from Firefly?
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, he's going.
He is?
Yeah.
Hey, Chuck Wendig.
God, I'm just going to butcher everyone's name. Alan Tudyk.
Tudyk, yep.
Nathan Fillion. Summer Gallego?
Gallego, yep. Glau, yep.
Jewel
State, yep.
Gina Torres and Sean Maher. I don't know.
I'm looking. Hang on. Here we go. John Jackson.
It's like the very first post on Facebook.
I'm just going. I'm like scrolling through the entire guest list series.
Why do you do this to yourself?
Mads Mikkelsen's gonna be there. What do you know? I like Mads Mikkelsen. Again, how much do you have to pay? Ooh, Michael Ironside. How much do you have to pay? Oh, Nathan Fillion is gonna be there. Whoa. I'll be damned. He's in the middle of filming a season of The Rookie right now.
Yeah, I will say every year there's at least one major like guest that like cancels kind of like 2 weeks before. So
wouldn't shock me if that was him. He's been super busy. He's in the new Superman movie. He's got his own show that he headlines. I know her. I have never been motivated enough to stand in line.
Yeah, fair.
Like, if I happened to meet these people, I would probably be excited about it. But I'm trying to go through. I'm looking.
That's why you gotta get the fast pass, man. To skip the line.
Yeah, that's not me though. I really like Alan Tudyk. There's a Starship Troopers contingent. Yeah. Actually, that's another one. If I was going to remake a movie and do it properly, I would make Starship Troopers properly.
You know,
as a show.
Yeah. I've been playing Helldivers 2 a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like it's Starship Troopers.
And it's not.
It's not, but like I feel like it is. I'm just like, oh, look, I'm killing bugs.
It's very much like the movie. But and if you read about the development of the Starship Troopers movie, it wasn't supposed to be a Starship Troopers movie.
Really?
No. Paul Verhoeven had written another thing called Bugs from District 9, right? And kept trying to get it made, and nobody wanted to make it. And they literally combined it and were like, well, there's bugs in this Starship Troopers movie. We'll just take that, change a couple of the names, and call it good, right? It to me is one of the most misread books of all time, like sci-fi books. It drives me absolutely crazy how misread it is.
Wow.
I don't know how to do that, Dog Dad. I don't have like a placard yet. I haven't bothered because I'm lazy. So I don't have a placard. I don't know how you do it for disability status. Okay, yeah, fill me in. If there's a way to do it, like maybe I would do that. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Love it. If I met Nathan Fillion, I would be so tempted to sing the stupid song from The Rookie, though. Right? Like his new show, like his cop show. I would be so tempted, like, just to see how he would react. He'd probably not react well.
Just do it.
Start singing Cop Cutie. Yeah. We're gonna do Emerald City Comic Con this year. I gotta look through like programming and stuff like that. We will do some stuff. I think Identico's gonna be there, but I'm not 100%. Let me look. I will not be there. Yes, Identico will be there. So they will be there. Yeah, I know. I gotta fix that in our layouts. I agree. I need to do that. I need to put our names in our social medias. The other thing, when you were talking about Ye and we were talking about the porn, the one thing that was funny was watching all the people after Ye started posting all the porn, all these conservatives being like, they need to ban porn from Twitter, because there is a lot of porn on Twitter, right? And Elon just not addressing it at all.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's because he knows, like, there's a lot of people driving revenue from like OF and adult content creators who have blue checks, who are paying him every month and who are getting engagement on that app, and he doesn't want to cut that gravy train. It's the same reason Reddit won't get rid of porn. Okay?
Nope.
They're not going to get rid of the porn. But again, I just thought it was funny. There was a bunch of conservatives being like, Elon, you're on our side. You're conservative now. Get rid of the porn. And Elon just ignored the shit out of him.
Yeah. He's busy. He's a busy guy. He has his whole
He's got his whole Doge thing, which is crap. Yeah. But that's all. I couldn't even get into that topic on this show without just getting mad.
You don't like big balls being all up in your financial information?
I really don't. But I don't want to talk about it because I'm just done with them now.
Oh God. Yeah.
I just don't care enough to worry about it right this second. Yeah. So guys, don't forget to join the Discord. Leave us topic suggestions in the middle of the week to help us fill out the rundowns. This was a really long show today.
It was so long.
But I hope you guys enjoyed it. There's a bunch of you who've stuck through for the entire episode. If you missed any piece of the episode, I can pretty much guarantee because we went long tonight, I will not be uploading tonight, but I will probably do it tomorrow in the morning. Jay will be getting me thumbnails at some point over the weekend.
Oh, you already have them.
Oh, perfect. See, I already have thumbnails. I mean, yeah, so I will check that right after the thing. Look, if you guys love long shows, give us topic suggestions midweek. Fun stuff too. Yeah. I'm trying to live, like, we're going to do politics unlike the old versions of the show. And we're going to do serious topics. There's one that's sitting in our rundown that Jay and I have to, like, sit down and talk about how we want to do.
Oh, yeah, the sad and depressing one.
That's not sad and depressing. It's just, it's a deeper topic.
The suicide one?
No, the other one.
Wait, what are you talking about?
The thing about...
The porn?
Not porn.
Not porn.
The off-the-cuff one.
Oh, where the cuffs get put on.
Yeah.
See what I did there? Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to talk about what that looks like.
Yeah.
So again, if we don't hit your topic, again, I'm trying to limit us to like 2 more heavier topics a week so that we don't go hyper depressing. We still want to be here to entertain.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, if you haven't seen Love Hurts, go see that. We're going to go see Captain America this weekend. I'm cautiously optimistic. It's basically got a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. So, but again, that means half the critics liked it. See, people need to understand what that means. It means half the critics liked it, half of them didn't.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a coin flip.
I mean, still going to go see it.
We won't get, well, we might start getting, we'll start getting audience score. Okay, well, here you go. Let's do this really fast.
Oh, here goes another hour.
No.
Strap in, dog dad.
5281.
Oh, nice. Okay.
52% critic score, 81% audience score.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, and that's with more than 500 verified viewings from the audience. 176 reviews from critics. Anytime you see a big divergence like that, it starts to set off alarm bells for how it was evaluated by the critics in my head.
Yeah.
So, again, 81% audience rating. So, the vast majority of the audience seems to like it so far.
Yes.
I also like that it's only an hour and 58 minutes. I'm getting kind of tired of it. I liked Love Hurts for that reasons too. 90 minutes. Done. Not everything needs to be 3 fucking hours. Hollywood. Okay. No, we're not going another hour because that gets into my bedtime and I have to get up and take a child to school and pretend to do things tomorrow.
That's funny.
All right. We love you guys. We'll be back next week at 8 o'clock Pacific time on Thursday. Look, guys, and you want us to go longer and more shows more often, help share the show. Put it on Facebook, put it on your Twitters, share the show to get us the viewers and stuff. The more we can monetize, the more we can do this stuff, the more show we can do. The more you get to see OCTO Furry Kitty. Okay.
Yeah.
And the little BB-8 in the corner. There's a little BB-8 in the corner of Jay's frame, right?
There's a lot of. I should probably do like an episode where I just like go through
But
and
wait,
like show, like the Mandalorian helmets.
I would like to point out there's also a BB-8 right there.
Ah, look at that. Nice.
So we have lots of BB-8. There's also a Grogu hiding right there. What's up, Grogu? All right, guys. We love you. We will see you next week at 8 o'clock Pacific time.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.